Good evening, welcome to Weather Fans Live. Hopefully I'm online. Everything's gone absolute slow on me and the video's not playing properly, so hopefully I am back. Just please just let me know if we are live. I've had technical issues like this for quite a while. Just gonna wait for your comments to come through. Hopefully I am live. For some reason, everything's just gone so slow on me. I am live. Thank you, PJ, Paul James. My signal for some reason has completely dropped. Live but a bit sticky. Okay. Just bear me a second. I'm just plug in the Wi-Fi. Plug it into the Wi-Fi to see if it is the internet. While I do that, let me just bring up something on the screen while I'm just going to get the Wi-Fi connected. It's not the start I wanted after a couple of weeks away due to illness. Oh, I'll see if I get the right thing up. I do apologise for this slight technical issue. I've just got to put on full screen. Just give me a few seconds. Has YouTube gone down slightly? Just what I needed. Just going to make sure it's not my Wi-Fi as well. I'm just going to plug myself into the internet. So I'm just going to leave it out just for a moment. Let me just put something on the background sound-wise. Again, apologies for this. Right, elevator music going down. So hopefully now I should be running a lot better. Let me just put myself back on screen. Oh, what's going on here? No, that's full screen. There we go. Anyone wants a snowstorm, then come to see me. You got snow where you are, Suit. All right, let's go through the comments. So I say apologies for the dodgy start to this live after 2 weeks. As I mentioned, it's been suffered from an illness a couple of weeks ago, and last week I wasn't quite over it. That's why I've not been live for the last couple of weeks, but a lot better now. Still getting the odd tickly cough. So let's go through the comments, see who's here. So good evening to Matthew. Good evening. It's feeling mild but very wet evening in the South Oxfordshire. So wet, the cat didn't want to go outside. Our big cat was the opposite. She was out in the rain. She was soaked when she got back in about half hour ago. Good evening to Anne Smith. Thank you for joining me this evening. Good evening to Chris A. Good evening to Laura. You're still on holiday down towards the southwest? Matthew's asking cold November inbound. We'll have a look at the ECMWF weekly anomaly chart shortly, see what that's showing. Good evening to our mod Paul James. Hope you are well. Can we blame the weather for the poor connection? Well, let's blame the weather because it's been quiet for the past couple of weeks or so. And our friend Rachel is in. How are you doing, Rachel? So again, to Rachel. The video seems to be running a bit smoother now, he says. As my connection is saying it's gone weak again. So God knows what's happening tonight. I don't know what's going on tonight with the connection. Who else have we got this evening? If it's just jumped up, just bear with me. Good evening to Suit. Hope you are well. Who else do we have? Just going down. It's got to where it's people saying it's just a signal. Let's went down. Yeah, I agree with Matthew. There's a lot of nasty viruses doing the rounds. Indeed. I know Gav's not been too well this past weekend. He had a lot of plans planned, but he's had to cancel because he's not unwell. I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at that. Matthew mentioned Love the Gallery with the background music. That was from, I think, Take Heart, was it? When they were showing the pictures. Oh, blimey, audio. Funny how going into hospital you end up coming out sicker than when you went in. Testing that theory out on Friday. Hopefully you don't feel a lot sicker. And Rachel's asking everyone to smash the like button or Paul James will rock up on your doorstep wearing a Tweety costume. I told a potty cat. I did. Good evening to Zenit. Hope you are, my friend. Oh, and good evening to Lee as well. Thank you for joining us on this Sunday evening. What's that? I know one thing. I'm looking forward to going into hospital, but my bowels aren't. Chances are the surgeons are going to have to double mask up because I'm going to get very windy. The weather and yourself, by the sounds of it. Good boy, Paul James. F1 is on, but won't say anything. I think that's why Liz is not here this evening. I think she's watching that. No spoilers. I'll watch the highlights after. Well, cause the internet problems. I'm unsure, Suit. I'm unsure what's happening tonight. Bit of a strange one. Since I've come out doing the lives in the kitchen and the living room next to the router, I've not had to use the wire, but I'm plugged in and it's still coming up the same. So I don't know what's going on with the internet. Right down the bottom of the comments. You're brave, send it. You're very brave indeed. Yeah, you don't want to get the yellow peril on you. She'll turn that yellow. She'll turn more yellow than Homer Simpson. Right. Down the bottom of the chat. You lot are so brave. You lot are so brave. Don't worry, Mike. I've had that raft before. I don't want to witness it. Right. What's happening? Yeah, the weather's been quite quiet recently, but let's go on to. Oh, hang on. Where have I put live stream? As we've noticed, the weather has now changed. We've now got rain moving across the country. Let's put the pressure chart up. I couldn't find the where's the air pressure. Let's zoom out on this. So we've got, for the first time in about 2 weeks, we've got low pressure moving in from the west as high pressure migrates eastwards into Central Europe. We've had a couple of weather fronts moving through during the day. We've had that warm sector come through during the day, and obviously now we've got this cold front coming through. If we put up onto the radar, that cold front is now crossing the country as we speak. Zoom in further. Let's play that through. Let's push that back from, say, 9 o'clock this morning. Zoom out a bit so we're not missing everybody in the country out. So the rain has been gradually moving. Kind of change the speed on that. It was going in about 5 minute sectors, so let's slowly slow that across. So the rain's been progressing towards the east-northeast during today. Heavy in some places, especially down towards the south. I bet the webcams are all dark now. Yeah, there's no point looking at the webcams at this time of year for the lives. Temperatures out there at the moment fairly mild. Temperature about 14 degrees under this warm sector. Behind that, temperature still showing 14 and 13 degrees. So I don't know what that cold front's sitting there for. Up in towards Scotland, we're looking around about the 10, 11 degree mark. But good thing is we've lost all that, I was going to say cloud, but we haven't. It's raining. Hopefully now with that cyclonic gloom out of the way now, if there is any breaks in the cloud, there will be sunshine. That doesn't make sense, does it? Because we'll have sunshine when there's breaks in the cloud. I'm going to shut up. What am I talking about? Hot dogs and burgers. Very rightly so, Matthew. So, yeah. So for what's happening now, to see what's going to happen this week, there has been some signs of a deep area of low pressure moving through on the latter part this week, which could turn quite deep. But looking at the models from today, there's been a slight tweak, which I'll show you right now. Just give me a second. What we'll do it, I'm just bring up the Met Office facts charts first. See what their latest is showing. So low pressure set towards our southwest right now, dragging up these weather fronts. As I mentioned, high pressure moved out into Europe. Then during the day tomorrow, bless you, have low pressure centered over the central England. That will give us a spell of rain or showers. Some of these could be on the heavy and thundery side. And into Tuesday, low pressure set towards the north. We're in this west to southwest, sorry, northeast. Oh, come on, speak properly. West to northwesterly airflow. more rain showers up towards the northwest, drier towards the south. Heading into Wednesday, we're under we have a little bit of ridge actually shown there for Wednesday. Low pressure still sat towards the northwest of the UK. But what some others were suggesting a few days ago, let me just bring that forward to Thursday, was area of low pressure out towards the southwest, deepening, then crossing, dragging down a northeast, northerly. But what some models are suggesting now, the low that we've had the last few days is actually going to stay up to there towards the north. And it was due to combine with the one coming from the southwest, so they're combining to one, then scoot off. But at the moment, models are now suggesting that we're going to have two areas, separate areas of low pressure before skirting off to the east, then dragging down that northerly for the weekend. So let's have a look at the GFS 12s, everyone. And I'll show you the 6 o'clock run from this morning. So let's bring on the pressure chart. I'll put my head back into the chart to make sure we're all still going smoothly. Some outlets, which I won't name, declaring snow. Short-lived northerly. We'll get into that in a second, but perhaps going for about 36, 48 hours or so. Yeah, some outlets showing declaring snow. That is possible for the Scottish mountains, and that's about it, really. But we'll take a look in a second. Just give me a second. Okay, so here's the latest from the GFS. This is just the pressure charts. So there's our low that's just coming now from the southwest. That's just due to stick around the UK through into Tuesday. Then we're seeing signs through Wednesday of this other low coming in. As I mentioned, computer models were actually, as this low comes in, was actually going to join up together to have one low pressure through into Wednesday, into Thursday. Does that, but that actually keeps that a bit later, actually. So it was showing straight away that these two will combine through Wednesday into Thursday, but this is actually delaying now, actually, looking at this into Thursday night into Friday. And this is this northerly as mentioned. So before the ice bar is right back, straight from the Arctic. Then we've got high pressure building in from the west. Then by the time we get to Sunday, it cuts off that northerly flow. What does this model do through into next week? We're bringing a westerly. So I'm bringing plenty of showers up towards the north, drier towards the southwest, where we've got high pressure set out to the Bay of Biscay. And high pressure comes more established across much of the UK. Can't rule out some weather fronts affecting the far northwest of Scotland. And we've got the winds coming in from more of a southeasterly. Through towards Halloween. Then things are starting to ramp up towards the west with low pressure really spinning up. And it's almost like a battleground between this high pressure out towards Central Europe and this very deep low pressure out towards the Atlantic. That'll bring up for a time, a southerly flow. It's looking quite breezy there. This doesn't bring in quite strong winds as we head through into the beginning of November. So we're expecting perhaps gale force winds through there. And it's a proper deep low there set up towards the west. So it's not moving anywhere quickly. And this could be the remnants of a perhaps tropical disturbance heading up towards Newfoundland. Look at how tight those isobars are there. So this is looking quite, the back end of this run in front to the end of next week, looking quite, dare I say, stormy, really. Oops, Daisy. But let's go back to this weekend. I mentioned about things turning cooler with that northerly blast. So let's have a look at the upper air temperatures. So relatively mild for the next few days. And we've got a northwesterly flow there, bringing plenty of showers in. Some of these will be perhaps on the heavy thundery side. So there's that low that we've got now up towards the northwest of the UK. And we've got this other low coming in from the southwest. With this computer model run, they do eventually join forces on Friday. And this is where we see that northerly flow coming through into Saturday, the -5 degree isotherm through Scotland. So any showers could potentially be wintry over, especially over the Scottish mountains. That -5 degree isotherm does go down through up into the Peak District as we head through Sunday. We've got high pressure out towards the west. So again, can't rule out some of these showers perhaps even wintry as far as past the Pennines, but only briefly. So actually, let's bring on the precipitation type actually. And the precipitation type, then we'll look at the wind on this computer model run. There we are. It's been a while since I've had to get this up on the screen. So this is the precipitation type. Obviously, at the moment, it's very mild out there. So what we're looking for is the greens and the pinks to appear. So that's into Thursday, perhaps showing the rest of maybe sleet or snow. As for the Highlands of Scotland, it's even showing a bit there for Cumbria, perhaps through the Pennines there for a bit of patchy snow, really. But I think that's overdoing that on Thursday. Then a bit of snow showing there for the tops of the Scottish mountains through Thursday. Yes, as we go into Friday, we start to get that northerly plunge. So any showers there, perhaps turn a bit wintry over the Scottish mountains. And into Saturday night, there's perhaps hidden to there, perhaps some sleetiness at tops of the Welsh mountains as well. And there's risk of some wintry showers. Keeps going for parts of Scotland, and that diminishes as we're heading through into Monday. So that's the GFS 12Z run. But what was seen on those charts was plenty of isobars suggesting some gusty winds. So let's have a look for the rest of this week. Excuse me, while I cough about the 100th time. So there's that low pressure moving in. Wind's relatively light, to be honest. Nothing too major or serious through the start of this week, with low pressure centered over the top of the UK. So some of these showers could potentially be slow moving if you get caught in one. Then through into Wednesday, we'll start to see that low pressure moving up from the southwest. So that's showing there, perhaps from Devon and Cornwall there, winds getting to perhaps gale force. So maybe about 50, 60 miles per hour. Through 7 counties, through in Wednesday night into Thursday. And it could be quite gusty through central areas as that low pressure moves up towards the northwest. So gust inland could reach to perhaps 50 miles per hour, perhaps 60 in some places. So that scoots up towards the northwest. Some strong winds shown there for parts of southeast Scotland to northeast England. So suggesting there 50, 60 miles per hour can't be ruled out. And as that low continues to track northeastwards in parts of Cumbria, northwest England, southwest Scotland, wind speeds could gust up to 50, 60 miles per hour, 70 perhaps in some exposed areas. And that wind transfers across the other side of the Pennines. Again, we're looking wildly to perhaps 60 miles per hour. So that's something to perhaps watch towards the back end of this week. If that's to come off, me personally, I think the Met Office will not name this, but there will be wind warnings out in force with this GFS 12Z run. If it was to come off, then as I mentioned, we'll start seeing winds come down from the north through Friday night into Saturday with this run. I'm just continue this towards Halloween week, because we did see that big low pressure towards the west. So it turned quite breezy as that moves in. So there's the southerly flow. So if this was to come off, we're looking again, perhaps gale force winds through western areas, through Ireland, up the Irish Sea. The winds kind of drop before picking up again towards the west and easing slightly as well. Still gusting perhaps 30-40 miles per hour quite widely. So it's looking quite breezy there for the start of November. As low pressure kind of battles the high pressure out towards the east. I was going to quickly put my head back in the charts, into the chats. How far did we get to? As far as Matthew saying the short north northerly. Very short cold snap. Yeah, that seems to be the case. So a bit of a taste of what could be heading our way. I haven't seen any ladybirds. There's actually been plenty around. I know about a week or two ago, there was like swarms of them around the many areas, which I've seen on the social media. Yeah, hold your coffee saying, given that my neighbours have already literally had hundreds of things on the window, I think there might be time to buy a snow shovel, then we don't get too much snow here. Speaking of snow, I'd just love to see, perhaps just like come towards Christmas, that run towards Christmas a few days where we do get like a nice bit of snow. That'll be nice. I would love to see snow on the ground at Christmas, or even snow on Christmas Day. But aren't we due a good snow event? No, I don't think we've had too much over the last at least 2, 3, or 4 years of during winter season of snow, really. Apart from your usual spots towards the north over the Pennines as well. I think the last significant snow I had here in the Midlands, where I am, was I think it might be November 22, to be honest. I think I moved in where I am now for about a few days. I think I moved here like on the Thursday, then by the Sunday we had like a good dumping of snow. My cousin's seen snow close up and personal. I wonder how the kitten will find the snow. She'll probably like going, "Ooh, what's that? I want to chase it." Oh, good evening to our other mod, James. It's very wet and windy here. I suppose it's making a nice change and been stuck under the cloud. I will make it. I'll probably film live stream snow if we get any, because it's no way to make it last longer. Very true indeed. Very true indeed. Matthew's had a mince pie. Never too early. Never too early at all. I've known to have a cabbage cream egg on Christmas Eve before. I'm not a fan of mince pies myself. Not at all. I've seen. I'll just reading the comment. It's just gone. I've seen the Yule log of Fancy on Morrison's website. It's Black Forest flavoured inside, and it's got the fritter rolls on the top. Sounds very different. Now I just fancy a nice chocolate Yule log. Laura said, I hope it's dry day here on Thursday so I can get out and wave watch and experience the winds. We shall see what happens, how this develops in the next few days. So it's could turn quite a bit stormy during the back end of this week. We shall see how it does develop and how it interacts with the jet stream. Do you know what? I was saying this to my partner earlier on today. I love seeing the fairy lights at Christmas. It's like after Halloween, when people start putting their Christmas lights out, it just seems very magical. Because obviously by time to get Christmas, it's literally shortest day, and obviously the nights are so long. Oh yeah, just remember that the clocks do go back next Saturday night. So it'll be getting dark about probably about 5 o'clock now. Well, yeah, I just love the run into Christmas where all the Christmas lights out, and people really go for it, especially where I live here. It's just a magical time of year. We had snow the 6th of January in the morning. But is that excuse me? I honestly cannot remember the last time I had snow. It's been that long. It's always weather models' way to give us mild Christmases. That seems to be the common theme right now, isn't it? Yeah, we seem to get a lot of mild Christmases. Good night to Sue. You need to get some rest for tomorrow. Enjoy, my friends. Whatever you're doing, take care. And good night to you. Yeah, I agree with that. Cold, frosty Christmases are hard to get these days. Snow would be a miracle. Yeah, I think it was 2010 last time I was seeing snow on the ground at Christmas. Obviously, that followed that was the December to remember 2010. I have lovely lights in Blackpool. I'm hoping to get up there before the end of the year to see them. We'll shall see if I can get a chance to get there before then. Garden centres full of Christmas decorations. I thought they sold plants. Well, people don't buy many plants at this time of year, do they really? So that's perhaps another way to get revenue into the garden centres. What our garden centre, the other side of town here, they actually do have reindeer actually on site, which is nice to see. They took my daughter there a few years ago to see like Santa there. It was absolutely magical. That was beautiful. Speaking of Christmas decorations, actually, people got them where you are. Went into the range and they've got lovely setup there where you can see the Christmas lights they can buy and all the accessories. It's just really magical in there. Right, I'm going to go back onto the charts and show you what the 6 o'clock run was showing. Let's have a look. Bring back the sea level pressure charts. So this is the run from this morning from the GFS. So again, there's that low which we've got right now, out towards the west. Then through this start Monday into Tuesday, it's sat across the UK. Then that gets sat towards the northwest of Scotland on this morning's run. Then we'll start to see signs of this low coming in from the southwest on Wednesday night into Thursday. Then this run actually does keep these two lows separate as we head through into Thursday night. And kind of keep it set. The two kind of stay separate as we're going to Friday as well. To be honest, even to Saturday, it kind of keeps the two lows separately. The main energy is up towards Scandi, and this was where we see that northerly come down. So where do we start seeing this northerly coming down? It's more when this our low that we've got right now starts to move down towards the west of Ireland Thursday night into Friday. Then once that gets towards through into the southern Irish Sea. That's where we start drawing that wind down from the north. Or eventually, that tiny low, what's at that low, just dissipates, and we are controlled by the slow towards the Norwegian Sea. I'm bringing this northerly, perhaps northwesterly wind flow into Saturday before high pressure moves out. It moves in from the west, and it cuts that northerly flow to give us this westerly. So what does this do? This keeps high pressure down towards the Bay of Biscay. We're dragging in, looks like perhaps a lot of cloud in from the Atlantic through into next Tuesday, into Halloween week. And that high pressure moves towards mainland Europe, low pressure towards the northwest. Now, the southwesterly flow, perhaps got a deep area of low pressure moving in there through into Thursday, day before Halloween. So we're in a strong southwesterly flow there. We're still at high pressure towards Europe, but we've got this strong southwesterly flow that will bring a lot of mild air. This could bring temperatures up into perhaps the mid-teens with this setup. Then we've got a deep area of low pressure towards off the coast of Iberia through into the first few days of November. We'll bring in a very strong southerly airflow. Again, this is looking quite stormy for the start of November, like the previous model run. Sorry, not you, Stormy. Not Stormy the cat. Sorry, baby, they'll wake you up then saying your name. So you're looking quite stormy out towards the west of the UK. We're still bringing up this warm southerly flow. Very breezy. And that continues towards the end of this run. So the Atlantic's looking, again, I'm going to say the word stormy as well. So let's have a look at the upper airs on this run. So we can see a bit of a contrast. We can see the cold air moving down before, towards the back end of this run, that's mild air coming up from the south. So relatively mild with the slow pressure over the top of us. Start of the week, then we get northwesterly flow, then get back to the southwesterly as that blow from the southwest moves in and moves up towards Norway. There's that other low from now starts to move away towards the southeast. Then it's through into Saturday. We get that northerly airflow. -5 degree isotherm gets down through, perhaps down towards South Wales, South Midlands. Only very temporary before getting cut off. So it's probably lasts maybe 24 hours or so before mild air moves in from the Atlantic. Again, on the setup, we expect a lot of cloud to move in. And as we head towards the start of, towards the back end of next week, during Halloween week, we start to see that mild, very mild southwesterly airflow. Then as that low from Iberia starts to move up from the south west, again, as I mentioned, we're dragging up this very mild air from the south. So I'll bring the temperatures easily into the mid, maybe even the high teens as we head to the start of November. So could we be looking perhaps potentially at a mild, if I dare say, warm Halloween? So let's have a look at the temperatures of this computer model run. So temperatures through into tomorrow, we're looking around about the mid-teens. And then same again through into Tuesday, excuse me. So double digits, low double digits into the mid-teens across the UK. Into Wednesday, looking around about the same, perhaps high single digits for perhaps the Scottish mountains there. And Thursday, we'll start to see a bit of a northerly start to kick in with that low set out towards the North Sea. Temperature ranging from around about 5 to 10 degrees for much of the country, perhaps down to up to 13 down towards the southeast. Then same for Friday. Then it's Saturday, we'll start seeing that northerly flow come in. So perhaps maybe just get to 10 degrees as we're heading to Saturday and Sunday as well. Most places are actually staying in the single digits. So that was like Sunday, you definitely feel a bit of chill in the air, shall we say. Temperatures getting there higher than perhaps 9 degrees for many areas. Now we start to bring in that, cut off that northerly flow, bring in the westerly. Temperatures again back, ranging from about 7 to 15 degrees. Then as we're heading towards Halloween, we'll start to pick up that southwesterly flow and southerly flow. So temperature again ranging from 8 to 15 there on the 28th. And the 29th looking very similar to that. I didn't include the 30th. As we head going to Halloween day itself, we'll start a bit more of a southerly flow. Temperatures ranging from around about 9 to 12 degrees in Scotland, perhaps 15 degrees with a fern effect towards northeast of Scotland. But much of England and Wales, we're looking widely into the mid to high teens. Can't rule out perhaps the odd 20 for Halloween. So it's going to be quite a mild Halloween if this was to come off. Then the start of November is looking very mild. Again, temperatures widely mid to high teens. And the warmth stays towards the northeast of England into Norfolk as well, perhaps mid to high teens, and starts to cool down towards the west, which I would think a band of rain will be crossing the country during that time. And with this computer model run, we'll have a look at the wind gusts, because this was showing a bit breezy as well, which was the other model was suggesting as well. So low pressure sat over the UK through the start of this week. It's just Wednesday we start to see that other low move up from the southwest. So again, southwestern areas could see gale force winds 50 to 60 mile per hour easily. And that also moves, towards northeast. So quite windy across England and Wales through into Thursday. And through Thursday as well. So inland gusts could reach up to 50, 60 mile per hour. Again, with this, will the Met Office name it? Well, I don't think they will. I think there'll definitely be yellow warnings out. I do not think this will be a named storm. I think it's not quite on the cusp. If these wind speeds are perhaps another 10 to 20 degrees, 10 to 20 mile per hour, a bit stronger, then yes, it would be. But I think it might be on that boundary of not quite been named by the Met. But then again, we can't quite see it on here. It could get named by the Dutch Met Service, Depends how it's going to affect the Netherlands through into Thursday night into Friday. So if it does get named, I don't think it would be the Met Office that would name it. But we shall see as the week goes on. Then the winds ease through into start of next week, quite breezy up towards north of Scotland. Then it's when we get through towards Halloween that we'll start seeing the winds pick up. So there's that some strong winds coming towards the west of Ireland day before Halloween. Gusts there, perhaps up to 80 mile per hour in some areas. And another breezy day there for Friday, Halloween itself. Then look at that, coming up towards the western side of the UK. Wind speeds could get to 80 mile per hour if this was to come off with the GFS 6 run. And offshore there for Ireland, with high waves there, with wind gusts easily 90 to perhaps 100 mile per hour off the west coast of Ireland if that was to come off. And that is the GFS 6Z and 12Z run. In the second, we'll take a look at the ECMWF run for this week. Let's bring myself back on the screen just for a moment. There we go. Let's have a look at the latest comments. Matthew saying early winter snow for parts of Northern Europe. I was actually going to show the latest snow cover, but I can't get onto the website at the moment. So I def their website's down. Let me just have a try again on it and see if I can get onto it. Oh, the snow and ice charts, is it going to let me in? Yes, it is. Right, I'll show that. Let's, do you know what? So you mentioned it. Let's have a look at the snow and ice. I don't know. Let's go through the comments first, and I'll show you the latest snow and ice before going on to the ECMWF run. So very warm in southern Spain right now. Well, I could, I'll have a look at those temperatures in a few moments. I just say my mom was saying how much she found it cold here after she must have been away in Croatia for a week. So I'm guessing it's been warm towards the east of Europe. I've not been keeping what tabs of what's been going on across parts of Europe, actually, if I'm honest with you. Matthew saying some longer range models show northern blocking for November, shorter range active Atlantic continues. Speaking of them, of the models, we're going to have a look. Our usual look at the ECMWF weekly anomaly charts, see how they're what they're showing. No, it's 20 degrees. No more warm weather. You just don't know. If we get that really strong southerly flow, we could sneak a 20, but we'll have a look what happens over the next few days. See how these lows form after. Excuse me a second. After Halloween. James has said Met Office have updated mainly light snow for Saturday. However, it's a week away. With that northern shots, I think mostly the Scottish mountains could see a tiny bit of snow. I've absolutely no idea on that one. When did the Met Office? Sorry, when did the ski centres open in Scotland? I've absolutely no idea. I'll guess must have had some snow. I'm guessing. At least the gardens are getting a great water. They certainly are after this dry spell again. Well, if these charts come off for the beginning of November, I might be delayed leaving the islands. Good. Is it Sicily that you actually? Is it Sicily? Sicily? No, Sicily's off Italy. Sicily, yeah. How long are you down towards Sicily for, Laura? You could see a lot of high waves down there. Let me just see if I can bring her onto the screen. Can't quite see her. There she is. There's Stormy, if you're wondering. Say hello to your fans, Stormy. There she is, curled up on the sofa next to me. Not causing mayhem for a change. Yeah, the Isles are silly. You're there till the 3rd of November. With the way there's charts showing, it could be a bit of a bumpy ride coming out of the islands. Yeah, my little fur friend is going on. Yeah, bless her. She's actually been quiet at the moment. I think she likes company. Co-host, yeah. People saying hello to you. What do you say to that? Nothing, because you've fallen asleep beside me. Yeah, expect to see you there behind my arm, curled up on the sofa next to me. Oh, you're so embarrassing me. Please take me off the screen. Okay. Right. Let's have a look at the ECMWF. I'll take myself off the screen and see what the ECMWF is showing for this coming week into the start of next. So there's our low pressure south towards the west. Yeah. So there's that low pressure out centre of the UK through Monday into Tuesday. The centre of that low pressure up towards Scotland. Oh, for goodness sake, these adverts, seriously. Has Wednesday, that low set up towards north of Scotland. We'll start to see signs of this low development towards the southwest. And on Thursday, for goodness sake, enough. We've got that original low up towards northwest, our low towards the east of England. So this one has it also a bit further, slightly further east, because the other computer models will bring it through the Midlands up towards far northeast England. But this has this centered more towards Norfolk. So what happens with that low on Friday? This actually takes that low, once we give it that fecking banner again, out towards Denmark. So this has this low a bit further east compared to the GFS. The original low looks like it does get swallowed up. So our low from now, that's not, it starts to get very annoying there. That low there gets swallowed up by this low here, and into Friday will start dragging that northerly airflow. So again, air coming from the Arctic into Friday, we'll maintain that northerly flow, but we start to see this air of high pressure moving in from the west as we head into Sunday, but not as much as the GFS is. So that's bringing down a northwesterly flow compared to the GFS, was bringing more of a westerly flow off the Atlantic, but this is more of a northwesterly flow. So perhaps small showers out towards the east there, dry towards the southwest of the UK. And start of Halloween week, it's Tuesday where this actually starts showing. There's a way of getting rid of these banners. I would love to know, because it starts to get very annoying now when you're trying to show these. Into 28th of October, this is showing a more of a flat westerly, so perhaps bringing plenty of cloud the Atlantic into 29th. And the 30th, high pressure literally crossover the UK of this run. And into the 31st of October, so Halloween, we're dragging in. Still coming from the west there, but towards the southwest, we're dragging in a southeasterly. So that again could be another mild one showing there. And into the Saturday, the 1st November, we're still under high pressure with the ECMWF, and maintains that for the 2nd of November. And the 3rd of November, with low pressure starts to move in from the northwest So we're bringing this still that warm flow from the southern, from southern Spain actually, yeah. So I'm still bringing that southerly wind in. So compared to the GFS model, where we start seeing the Atlantic move back in towards the start of November, this ECM WF 12Z run actually keeps high pressure in control of our weather. So a little bit of a split there between the two main computer models. It's just going to show me the 2 meter temperatures. Not quite for the UK. So how mild does it start to turn? So it's into Thursday, we'll start to see temps move, the air coming in from the continent. And that's not really showing that at all. It's still showing temperatures perhaps around 12 degrees. Not as much warm air as I expected to be shown across the UK. That's a bit better, perhaps temperature up to about 12 to 17, 18 degrees. So it's showing a bit of that mild air moving up from the south. I wonder if that helped. Now it's better. You can see a lot better now. So let's have a look at the temperatures actually with this northerly flow for Saturday. So temperatures between about 2 to 3 degrees up towards the Scottish mountains, down to about 11 degrees southern England. For Sunday, all areas are below 10 degrees, hinting perhaps 10 towards Hampshire there. But these are the maximum temperatures. Again, with temperatures that low, perhaps some sleet or snow can't be ruled out for the Scottish mountains for Sunday. And temperatures start to pick up through Monday into Tuesday, when we start to pick up that Atlantic air flow. Temperatures 12 to 15 degrees for many areas. Same again to Thursday and a Friday as well. And that continues actually through into the start of November. Milder out towards the west, temperatures up to 14, 15, 16 degrees. And finally, temperatures widely into the teens on 3rd of November, where we've got that southerly to southeasterly airflow. Right, but we'll head back into the chat. Loads of adverts on the most platforms, very annoying. It is, especially that ECM from the weathercentral.d seems to be the worst for it. Need an ad block. I'll have to look into it. It was just getting very annoying there. You've got more pages for me with adverts, that's for sure. I've got to keep professional. I don't want to start having something about Tourette's where I'm sweating every 5 seconds. Interesting where the loads are tracking. Yeah, definitely a difference between the two main computer models. No doubt it will start to firm up as we head into Tuesday into for Wednesday, because that's when that low is expected to move in. I think it depends how that southwesterly load interacts with the jet stream. Not much fog so far. I think with that high pressure shown on the ECM, it could actually, fog come. It's a possibility, especially with that air coming in off the Atlantic, bringing that moisture in. I use Brave browser, which blocks a lot of their ads and trackers. The trees are looking pretty at the moment, browns and yellows. Yeah, I noticed that. The shops there's some nice yellow and orange just coming through the trees at the moment. But with the winds perhaps picking up towards the back end of this week, I think a lot of these leaves won't be in the trees. I think they'll mostly be on the ground. Good to see you looking a lot better, Mark. Sounds like for a few weeks. Yeah. As some of you might know on the Discord, it was 2 weeks ago West was really unwell. Then last week I still wasn't quite right to do the live. A lot better now. It's just obviously with some of these illnesses, you get this cough that just will not bloody go away. Let's stick with what we're going to look at next. Let's stick with the ECMWF. Let's have a look at the weekly anomaly charts to see what the ECMWF is showing. So that should bring that there. Let's take that off there. So this is our look that we look most weeks at is the ECMWF mean sea level pressure charts. So this is looking at Monday, the 20th of October through to the 27th of October. This has low pressure literally sat across the UK. As we've seen on the charts, we've got the two low pressures moving over. Eventually, that will skirt towards the east. And this is showing, what's going to happen back end of this week, where winds will start to change more very northerly. Then what does this do for next week? This keeps low pressure towards the towards Scandi. This will drag in more of a perhaps northwesterly flow with this run. Then Monday the 3rd of November to the 10th of November, where pressures are lower. With this, we're looking perhaps more of a southwesterly flow, so keeping the wind in from the Atlantic. And there's no really clear signal there for the 10th of November through to the 17th. Has lower pressure up towards Scandi, higher pressure up towards central from the Azores up to perhaps the southern tip of Greenland. So that would be more of a northerly flow there, but this could be more of a northwesterly flow. So looking a bit more cooler in the middle of November. Then the 17th of November towards the 24th of November as high pressure out towards the west. With this, again, we're looking at a northwesterly flow. And again, 24th of November through to the 1st of December. As that sinking a bit further south, again, we're still in that northwesterly flow. With that, the terms of precipitation are for the same charts. What does this bring for us? For this week, we are looking wetter than average across much of the UK. It's got slightly drier average for northwest Scotland there into Ireland. The 27th of October through to the 3rd of November has us wetter than average. The 3rd of November through to the 10th of November, we're looking at wetter than average for much of England and Wales, around about average for Scotland and Ireland. The 10th of November through to the 17th of November, we're looking at average. The 17th of November to the 24th of November, we're looking slightly drier than average towards western areas. And end of November, we're looking around about average on that. And now the 2-meter temperatures. Well, again, with the same charts. We are looking cooler than average for the UK. Then there's 27th through to the 3rd of November, we're looking warmer than average. Much warmer than average for the 3rd of November through to the 10th. Warmer than average for the rest of that period as well. Right. Looking at your comments. High pressure keeps going. That seems to be the case. We just need it in the right place if you want a cold snap. So, I put myself on the screen, but I didn't. If you want the cold, we either need the high pressure up towards the northeast, perhaps bring in a cooler easterly. I think things are starting to cool down across Europe. But if we want a proper northerly blast, we need that high pressure from the Atlantic stretching up towards Iceland, where we get that cold northerly plunge. I think we'll overdue some cold weather. It would be nice to get a repeat of the northerly we had through 2010. Will be at the December to remember. Just a quick look, actually, across the Atlantic. There is a watch going on through the central Caribbean. So we've got this red watch just here. So this is disturbance number 1. Well, it would be 1 because there isn't any other disturbances. So near the Windward Islands and the Caribbean Sea, recent satellite wind data and surface observations indicate the tropical wave currently crossing the Windward Islands still lacks a close circulation. However, both radar and satellite images indicate the associated shower and thunderstorm activity starts to show signs of organization. The system is quickly moving westward at 20 to 25 miles per hour, which could limit development over the next day or so, but the environmental conditions are forecast to become more favorable as it slows down in the central Caribbean Sea by the middle of this week. A tropical depression is likely to form by the middle to latter portion of this week in the central Caribbean Sea. Regardless of development, heavy rainfall and gusty winds are expected to continue for portions of the Windward and Leeward Islands through Monday morning. The chance of formation for the next 48 hours is 30%, and the next 7 days is at 70%. So it looks like we could expect to see our next named storm perhaps midweek as that moves towards Central America. So with the system, we're not expecting it to move like north up towards the mid latitudes of the Atlantic. So that's like it's going to head towards more Central America as we head through this week. Anything in the Eastern Pacific? Let's have a look. Just bear with me a second. It's gone on very slow on me. There we go. There's also another watch here. So, why has that disappeared? A surface trough located a couple of hundred miles offshore of Central America is producing disorganized showers and thunderstorms. Environmental conditions appear conducive for slow development of this system, and a tropical depression could form by the latter portion of this week as it moves generally westward at 10 to 15 miles an hour. Formation chance in the next 48 hours at 10%, and through the next 7 days at 40%. So for the Eastern Pacific, it has been very active over there. I think on the letter P now. So up through the letters there, halfway through the letters in the Eastern Pacific. I'm not sure what the next name storm will be, but potentially it could be through the back end of this week. With that, and let's have a look at one more chart which I mentioned earlier on. Let's have a look at the latest snow and ice charts for Europe and Asia. Let's enlarge that. So hopefully you can all see it better. There we go. So this is the latest snow and ice as of Saturday, October the 18th. So we're starting to see snow spreading across eastern Russia. They showed a bit of snow there towards some parts of Scandia there. We'll just move this across. I should see the difference between the last 8 days or so. Let's have a look at the 7-day animation. Type of better. Let's have a look at the last 30 days so you start seeing the increase. So hopefully this is showing the right tab. Yep. So in the last 30 days, you start seeing the snow cover getting more widespread towards eastern Russia. Sorry, I just went blank now. I just went quiet. I do apologise. So hopefully we'll see this getting more widespread as we head through into November. If we ever pick up an easterly, we need to see the snow cover transfer start moving towards Europe. So anytime we do pick up an easterly in the next few months, if we get an easterly, if the snow over towards Eastern Europe side, we should start seeing temperatures drop. What happened at the start of this year when we did get an easterly, there was very little snow cover over here, and that's why we didn't really see a proper easterly, because there was nothing there. There wasn't any proper cold air in situ. Right. Oh, let's bring myself back on the screen. And the next Pacific storm will be Sonia. Thank you so much, Laura. So they're well into the letters over the Eastern Pacific side. And the next name, Storm Melissa, if it forms the Atlantic, that'll please my partner. I'll take the cold weather over this. The rain that we've got right now. Right, so I think that's everything covered for tonight. Oh, thank you, Matthew. Take care. Good night to you. Thank you for joining us this evening. I think we're going to end the live stream ourselves. Just bring up the banner there. Let's give that an edit. There we go. So yeah, we're going to end the live in the next few moments. Thank you all for joining me on this Sunday evening. Again, apologies for the no streams over the last 2 weeks. Obviously, I mentioned just due to ill health. And if Gav's watching this, just want to wish him the best. Hopefully, things will get better for you. I know you're not been too well yourself right now. So hopefully, you haven't picked up the virus I've had last couple of weeks or so. What's in our thoughts? I just hope you just don't feel too bad, Gav. Oh, I've just knocked off the banner. Oh, I did. Sorry about that. There we go. Let's go through last of the comments. Thank you to Anne Smith for joining us this evening. Thanks, Michael, on the mods. Yep, thank you to Paul James and James for giving 9 proceedings in the background. Much appreciated. Thank you to our mod James. Thank you for the stream, and thank you. And thank you to Audio Coffee. For the mod as well, Paul James. Ooh. And Laura as well. And everybody else that has joined in this evening is, as mentioned, appreciated. I'll tell you what, I can just... Let's turn off my background banner so you can actually see Stormy. Where's my settings button gone? There we go. Where is she? There she is. Look all curled up there. Hello? What? Yeah, say goodnight, Stormy. No. Is that a stretch, is it? So there's Stormy, look. Snuggled into the green blanket behind me. Say goodnight, Stormy. She's cute when she's asleep, believe me. Yeah. Oh. I was waiting if I was going to see Stormy. Yeah, I did bring her on about 15 minutes ago. She's got the right idea. Yeah, being quiet. She's going to be a bit of a monkey. Well, monkey at times. Lovely cat scratches there from her. So let's end the live stream right there. Or shall we leave it like that? Let's leave the and end the live stream like that. I'll just put my head in. Thank you very so much for watching. Take care, everybody. And I find it difficult now to see my screen properly now. Bent screen over. Where's the end of live stream? There we go. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Good night. Take care. Look after yourselves, and we'll see you next Sunday from 8 p.m. And for myself and Stormy, should see you next week. Ta-ra.